Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, and this is going to be a different kind of a video. So this is going to be a crash course and on binary trees, data science algorithms. Let me tell you the rationale behind it. Considering that this is an internship season or a placement season, most of the people are going to be on their journey to prepare for interviews, DSA, right? So I thought of getting back into the interview preparation and keep me up to the standard of so that if I had to give an interview, let's say anytime, I should be prepared enough, right? So that's the reason why I am getting back into DSA. And if you're a if you're a software engineer, I think you should too, right? So it's not that it's compulsory, but it's always good, to solve problems regularly, right? You never know what you're going to do next day, right? So having said that, so this is going to be a crash course, and the current topic that I will be dealing is binary trees. I will try to nail all the basics of binary trees, and will solve some 15 problems from the famous DSA sheet, right? So I know almost everybody uses the DSA sheet, and it's a good sheet, not as a to understand which problem to solve, but a good collection of problems, right? So that's the reason why I will be going through some of those questions, and so I would be coding in Python, right? Because uh, Python comes natural to me. I can code in Java, TypeScript, JavaScript or C++, but Python comes natural to me. So I will be coding in Python. But if you're not familiar with Python, you can watch the video or you can skip it. You can watch videos of Raj Vikramaditya's driver. Right? He does it in C++ and he does a wonderful explanation. You can go there. But if you're looking for Python and simpler expressions, you can continue with me, and I will be giving the timestamps below. You can jump into any question that you want. Play with the playback speed. If you find me doing it slow, go to 1.5 speed, or if you're finding me fast, reduce it. And it's okay if you skip the video. I don't mind, right? But I wanted to deliver value to, let's say, 10 viewers that are watching this video. So, having said that, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal, actually. So, having said that, without wasting any time, let's move into the first question. Or Okay, let's start with the question. So I have also made a simple note here, note to keep track of what we're going to solve. So these are problems that I will be solving here. And if you see the first problem, so it is binary tree. So let's understand what exactly is a binary tree and how do you create it, right? So let me pull up my code editor here. So to see what is a binary tree is nothing but it's a tree where each node has two children, that is left and right, right? So that's a simple definition of what binary tree is. We have elements, each element has two children, and in the end, it looks like a tree. That's why it's called as a binary tree. And but funny thing is, tree has roots at the bottom, but a binary tree has root at the top and leaves at the bottom. So that's one difference between what binary tree is. And if you are preparing for interview, I assume that you know what exactly it is. I don't have to go into the basics. Right now, let's start by coding this into our editor. So this is going to be a folder where I will be creating all the code. I will also upload it to GitHub. You can follow it. Right? So let's start by creating our own binary tree here. Uh, Okay, so when I say a binary tree, or in fact any data structure, right? So we are not creating anything special, but we are just creating a node, right? So when we are trying to create a tree or a graph or anything, right? So all we have to take care of is a simple node, right? So using that, everything will be taken care of, right? So I'll try to create a node here. I'm going to call it as a node, and let's also initialize its children, right? So it has each node has a value, has a left, has a right. So let's do that. So in Python's way of doing it is we initialize it, and here we say each node will have a value, each node will have a right, and each node will have a left, right? So these are the three parameters for each node, right? And I can also pass these right left values, right, and by default it's going to be none. We're also having a left. By default it's going to be none, right? Now I can simply set those values and value. Okay, I haven't passed the value yet. Let's say this is the value. I've set the value right and left, right? So that's the binary tree, right? That's all you need to create a binary tree. Right now that we have a node, I can actually create a node, right? So I have also taken a small example here. So this is an example that we are going to be using throughout the crash course. So if you see, right, this is a binary tree that we are trying to represent. So it has one at the root, and two, three as its children, four, five as two's children, and six, seven as two children. So you get the idea, right? So again, in order to represent that tree, all I have to do is simply, let's say, I have to create a new root. So let me call it as a root. Root is equal to, I say, node, and I'm going to pass it value one, right? Now this would create a this node of with value one. Now I want to set its children. I can simply do it by root dot left and root dot right, right? So let me copy this a bunch of times, right? It's in a chronological order, right? So if you look, we have a node one. It has two children, node left and right, two and three, and again, left has right left four and five, and right will have left and right of six and seven. Again, left would have again left of eight, and right that has nine. So this is a representation of this tree, and that's how we create a binary tree. So the reason for doing this is that most of the interviews that you do, right, if you're whether you're interviewing for Google, Microsoft, Amazon, uh, we generally use some kind of a third party platform where you will be given a blank screen and you have to create your function signatures and all, right? So it's good to know how it is done, right? So that you have a better understanding of what it is. And I'll also initialize something called as a string. So this is basically let's say when I'm trying to print a node, so it will simply print it will say class of that node. But if I want to print some information, right? So this is where I will be using. So when I call node, so it should return me I would say node uh, with uh, this as the value. And if I say in self dot value. This is just basically a function that we define, it's a inbuilt function. So it is going to return this value when I call node. So that's how you would create a node, and I will be using this template in order to solve all these questions, right? So I hope you understood how to create this binary tree. Um, Try to code it yourself and see if there's anything that is bothering you. And if once you are ready, let's move on to the next section. So let's start by solving this level order traversal. Open with I'll open with Safari. So I'm just opening this problem because let's understand the problem statement and we'll code it in our editor itself. So so if you look at the problem, right? So you will be given a tree. So 3, 9, 20, 15, something, nothing new. But they want you to return an array, and it will no print all the levels. So when I mean by level is that all the roots at a single height, right? So height, just when I say height, consider it as a plain height, right? So it's a basic English height. Don't take any definitions here. So root 3 is at height 0, right? Or level 0, or some people call it as level 1, but let's keep it as a level 1, right? So at level 1 I have a 3, and this is going to be my level order traversal at this level. And at level 1, sorry, level 2, I have 9 and 20. So this is going to be my second level. At level 3, I have 15 and 15 and 7. So these are the three levels that I have. So in each level, I have a respective number. So this is what I have to return it, and this is the problem is. So consider that you have been asked to solve this in the interview. Take your time, try to code it, or try to dry run it with your paper, pen and paper, and come back. I will be coding it for you. Okay, there. So let's code the level of traversal here. So I would be creating a new copy with this. Sorry, I would copy paste. Yeah, I'll rename it as level level order traversal. And okay, let's code the solution for the solution here. So okay, let's code the solution. Let's say let's define the function here. Okay, level traversal, and assume that it would take values of root, right? So I will be passing a root, and in the end I will be returning an answer. So answer is going to be uh, basically uh, what an array of arrays, right? So this is going to be our answer. So let's once we have the node, let's also call simply, let's remove this read node, and here let's call the solution here solution dot developer traversal, and we will be passing this root, right? So we're going to take this route, and we're going to do level of travels on this node, right? So the answer that we are expecting is 1 at first level, 2, 3 at second level, 4, 5, 6, 7 at third level, and 8, 9 at fourth level. So this is what we are expecting as an answer. Let's code it up. So one way that I solve all these binary tree problems are using recursion, right? So and trust me, recursion will almost solve every problem in the binary trees. I'm saying almost, right? Iteration will solve 100% of problems, but recursion will solve most of the problems in binary tree, right? So let's understand how it is, right? So this is how I would be solving the problem. I will create an answer array. Okay, so this is going to be my answer array, and what I would do is I would do a recursive solution where I will go into each node, and I would check which level it is in, right? So if it is in level 1, I would add it into the ones array. If it is in level 2, I will add it to seconds array. So how I would do that? So let's define a function here. I will call it as a travel, and this is going to take a root, and it's also going to take what level that this is happening on, right? And let's solve the base conditions here. Let's say if I'm at root, that is, if I'm at last node, that is, if root is empty, then we would be simply returning back. So there's nothing to code here. But if that's not the case, right? So let's say if I'm at a level, let's say 1 or 2, right? What would I do that? So I would simply compare one thing here. So I will check the length of the answer. That is what level that we are currently in. So let's say if answer has three elements, so that means we are already at three levels, right? So if I'm at level 2, I can simply push it into that array, right? But what happens if length of array is less than the current level that we are in? That means that we haven't even seen this level previously. So what I would do is what I would or we should do is create a new level array into the answer array. So that means we are simply appending a new array with this element, right? So pushing is common, but the one thing we have to check is check whether it is already present or not. And if it's present, push it into that level. If it is not, create a new level. That's a simple understanding of this. And by using this, we could solve almost all the problems of the traversal here. So if length of answer is less than level, uh, as I said, answer dot append, and I would append a new array, right? So this is going to represent that level, right? So level of level into the answer array, right? So and it is going to take a root dot the value in the root. So I will be passing the value. So if that's not the case, right? So the length of array is less than the current level. That means there is already a level present in the array, right? So in that case, I would say answer dot append, and I would say sorry, answer of level. So I have to append it to the that level, right? So root dot value, right? So that's how you do this. And once you are here, you should also call the traversal on left, because that's how it works, right? Recursion. So root dot left, call traversal on left, and also call traversal on right. And here's the important part, right? So when you're calling traversal, right? So let's say I am at root 2, right? And if you look at the root 2, so I'm at root 2. I've already pushed that into the level 2, and I'm calling traversal on root 4 and root 5. What level these guys would be, right? So these would be at level of 2 plus 1. So this would be at the next level. So level plus 1, and these guys would be at level plus 1, right? That's how we solve this problem. And once we are here, simply let's call traversal here, and let's pass the root. And initially, let's say we are at level 1, right? It doesn't matter. You can pass 0 or you can pass 2, whatever. But initially, we are at level sorry, root at level 1, and from there we will be moving on, right? So let's try to run this and see what the output is. It says little index out of range. Why would be that? Oh yeah. So third level would be at index 2, right? So I should do level -1. So if I run this right now, you can see that uh, okay. So if I run it, so you can see the levels, right? So at first level I have 1, second level I have 2, 3. At fourth level I have 4, 5, 6, 7, and at fourth level I have 8, 9, right? So that's how you solve level order travels, right? Let me iterate back what I did here. So let me put it in a full screen, right? So yep, let's take things one by one, right? So forget about this function for a moment, right? So once we have called traversal on our given route, right? So we create an answer array. This is going to be our array which will hold all the answers, right? So it's going to be a big array, right? And we're going to call traversal. So we are going to call traversal, and we send root, and we also pass one important parameter through each call is level, right? So idea is have a memory or have information of which level that you are traversing it. So currently the root is at level 1. So I would push this root into that level 1, right? And if I'm at level 2, I would pass level 2 as a parameter, and this would push that root into the level 2, right? So in the answer, it would pass into the second array. So that's how it works. So if I uncomment this, so this is the recursive function. So the beauty of recursive functions is that you only have to take care of base cases and recursion calls, right? So everything will be taken care of. It's a magic, right? So if we are at we are let's say I'm at 8, and I called on left and right, but both of them are null. So there's nothing to do there. So we are going to return back. So that's the exit condition for this recursion. That's the base condition. In all the other cases, I'm basically checking if already level is present in the answer array. If not, I'm creating a new level at that index. So when I say index, at so this could be level 4, right? But there are only two elements in that, so I will be creating a third element, right? So and I will be passing new array with that value, and the next time if any other roots appear with the same level, they would be automatically pushed into that respective array. And you also, one thing you have to consider is lines 23 and 24. It is important that which call did we do first, right? So for level order traversal, that is a conventional level order traversal, we have to do left call first, then followed by right call, because the level order traversal is going from left to right. So Okay, Prakash, what happens if I interchange this, right? So nothing happens. The order changes, right? So instead of no going from left to right, it will go from right to left. So that's the beauty of recursion. So if somebody asks you a different variation of this, right, it's easier for you know, to simply change it, right? So with only changing in one line or with only swapping one line, you have created a new version of this, right? So this is going to be a conventional level traversal, and this is going to be a slightly variated version of a level traversal. If you're doing it iterative approach, you could also do it, but there could be some changes there where people use signs and they change signs and all. So that's the beauty of recursion. So with only one swap, we are able to achieve the solution. So I'll put this back wherever it is, and that's how we solve level of traversal. And I hope this is helpful. And you can try it out, you can code it out, and once you are ready, let's move on to the second question. Right. Second question that we're trying to solve is called reverse order traversal, and it's on Geeks for Geeks. Looks like I've already solved it. Okay. Um right. So here's the idea of this, right? So previously, what we did was we did the traversal, but from the top, right? So we had one followed by three, two, right? But this asks for reverse order traversal where you are going to, begin from the last level and move your way upwards, right? If you think about it, it's just a simple variation of the previous sum. Right? In fact, I will be using the same code. I will be only doing a small variation. So let's say level order and copy, paste. I'm renaming it to the reverse, right? So the only change that I would do here is simply whatever array that we have, reverse that. That's as simple as it, right? So that's the answer. So once I reverse this answer, automatically all the levels are being reversed, right? So that's how you can get this. And if you confirm here, right? So 8 9 would be 9, la first 4 5 6 7, 2 3 and 1, right? So that's how you can solve level traversal in reverse. That's a one of the variation. And let's move on to the next question. So the next question that we are going to solve here is yep, height of a tree. So this is an interesting problem. Let's see the problem statement here. Right. So I've opened lead code here. So when I say height of a tree, let's look at the definition and we'll solve it together. Right. So given a root of a binary tree, return the maximum depth. So what's the depth definition, right? So binary tree's maximum depth is the number of nodes along the longest path from the root down to the leaf, right? So depth, or we also call it as height in some cases, but always check for the definition of the problem statement. So it could vary from person to person, individual. So it's always nice to ask questions. When somebody asks you to find depth or height, to ask them questions what exactly they mean by the depth, because there could be some variation, right? Somebody asks, considering the root without considering the root, there could be 100 variations depending on the. So it's always best to ask them, right? So here our understanding of height is starting from the root, right? So root is going to be our start, and you can go to any of his children, and you can call it as end. So the distance between start and end. So is going to be the depth of that start and end, that path, and the maximum path that you can find in your tree, starting from the root to its leaf nodes or its children, and the maximum of that would be the depth of a binary tree, right? So, or height of a binary tree. So that's the problem. Think about it, try to solve it, and if you couldn't find a solution, you can join me and find my solution, right? Okay, we'll see you there. Right. So now let's solve the depth of a binary tree, and trust me, it is very very easy. And let's again take a copy of this. paste it here. Height of PT. Oh, sorry. Uh, I have OCD. I have to do it correctly, right? So this is a node that I have, and what would be the height of a binary tree? Try to guess it, pause it, guess it. So the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 4 would be the no height of this tree because the maximum path that I can find is 1, 3, 6, 9. This is the height, right? So, but let's do some modifications here. So I'll also add a couple of children to here. This I'll add left children and I will put 10 here. So now in that case, I have now in this case I have 9 and 9 has what left child as 10, right? So this is okay. Let's keep it as it is. So this is the tree. So the answer we are expecting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the answer that we're expecting, right? So think about it. How to solve solution. So as I said, I will be solving it again through using recursion because problems like these are best no or no classical recursion problems, right? So I have a small story I want to share. So when my one of my mentor was teaching us about recursion, he gave us this example, right? So where uh, so we had a circular from the HR, sorry, HOD's department, and everyone has to fill their email IDs or something like that, right? So you could do that in two ways, right? So you could hand it over to one person, and this person will go to every person and ask their email ID, and he will enter it. That's one way of doing it, and it will solve the problem. But there's another way of doing it, right? So instead of going one person going to every person, so every person will take it to their own, and they will not write their answer and pass it to the next person, right? So that's how recursion is, right? So recursion is basically the best case example, right? So that's how you represent recursion, right? So instead of doing all the work by own, let's pass it, let's segment it, and let people do their own job, and we'll add up the jobs, and we'll send it the answer that way. So that's how recursion works. That's how I will do solve solution. So let's run the solution here. Okay, let me create a new class solution here. So I'll call a function called as height of BT, and this is going to take. By the way, if you're wondering what self is, no, that's just no how you write object ops in Python, right? So I try to keep it in this way because no, it looks neat and reusable, right? So that's I. So if you're not doing it in an interview, I suggest you to do it this way, right? So height of a binary tree, and it's going to take a root, and that's all we need, right? So in fact that's all no the interviewer would pass you, right? So we'll only give you what the root is, right? So now we have to return answer, right? So how do you do it? So I would do it through this method called as recursion, right? So let me explain you with uh, with that. So for this, let's say for this picture, if you want to find height, right? So there could be two ways of finding height. So we'll have left child, we also have right child, right? So you can find the height of left child, add +1 to it. That would be height of your left child. You can again find the height of your right subtree, and add +1 to it. That would be your height, right? So that's how you can do it. So the basic idea of it is that height of root would be what is the maximum height in this subtree and in this subtree. So among these two, what is the maximum height that I have seen at this point, and add one to that. That would be my answer. That would be the root's answer, right? So now what root is doing is passing the responsibility to this subtree, right? Again, in this subtree, what would be the height for the root two, right? Again, he doesn't want to take responsibility on his own. What he does is he passes the responsibility to this children node. So he will say what is the maximum height in this subtree and in this subtree, and I will add 1 to that, right? Again, this will pass to here. He will do the same thing, right? So say we'll ask, these two nodes, what is your maximum height? I will add plus 1 to it. And when he asks to this person, so he doesn't have any children, right? So he basically says my height is 1, right? So again, this will move forward this answer. So his height will become 2, his height will become 3, his height will become 4, right? So that's how you calculate no height of a binary tree using recursion. So I will code exactly that, right? So okay, let's code it up. So I have my solution here. So I would be defining a function here. So I'll call it as height of binary tree, and I would be passing self, and I would be passing a root, right? So I have a root. So first thing that I would do so is if root is null or not. So if root is null, I'd be returning 0, right? Because it doesn't contribute anything to the height. But if that's not the case, in all the other conditions, I would find left height, and that would be self dot height of binary tree, and I would call it on root dot left. So I would be finding out what's the height for the left tree, and sorry, we'll also do the same thing with right height. So it would be self dot height of binary tree, and I would be doing it on root dot right, and I can simply look those answers and find which one is the maximum. So from LH comma RH, so I will see what is the maximum of that, and I would contribute 1 to that, right? So because I have height of 1, because root will have I can add 1 height to the its children, right? So that's how it works, and we are calling it on this tree, and it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are expecting answer as 5. Let's run this, and that's the answer, right? So that's how you solve height of a binary tree, and I encourage you, to understand this in and out, because there are many problems where you require to find height of a tree, and you want to do it very quick, right? So in that cases, you can use this function. Simply call it on left and right, and return maximum of that. And this is the wonderful concept of trees, right? So you would be seeing me use this in next questions as well, right? Again, if you understood this, let's move on to the next question. Yep, let's move on to the next question. So we understood what's the height of a tree. Let's move on to next problem is diameter of a tree. And again, just look into the definition here. So definition says that we are given a root of a binary tree, and you have to return diameter of a tree. So diameter of a binary tree is the length of a longest path between any two nodes. This path may or may not pass through the root. So this is an important thing, guys. So each definition might vary. Some might ask you, that some might say the diameter is a longest path between two roots, passing the root, or somebody might ask without passing the root. That's easy fix, but you have to understand what each of the definition means, right? So length between any two parts is represented by the number of edges. So basically, uh, diameter would be the longest path that I can draw between any two nodes, right? So between any two nodes, if I can draw uh, a path, that would be a diameter of the tree. So the maximum value would be a diameter of tree, and you have to take care of this condition where no, it need not to pass through the root, right? Because if the condition is that it has to pass through the root, what we can do is we can simply call height of the left subtree, call height of the right subtree, and add them both, because it has to pass through the root, right? So add them both plus 1, that would be diameter. But that's not the case, because there would be some cases, right? So even in our case, right? So say in our case, tell me what would be the maximum subtree, right? So I think this would be the 842. 1, 3, 6, 9, right? But I don't want to use this as an example here, but let's do one thing. Let's say all these elements. Let's say all these elements are adding to. We can talk about them, but that's how it is. So let's think about solution. No, try it on your own for 2 to 3 minutes, and come back. I will be coding it for you. Okay. Let me just copy this, paste it here, name it to diameter of video. And believe it or not, guys, this diameter question, I was asked in one of a mock interview. So I was preparing for a interview at Microsoft when I was in second year. So I took a mock interview from a person who is working at Amazon, and he asked me this question. As a, it's not a hard question, but he asked me this, right? So now we're going to solve this thing. So let me remove everything. So I'm using the same template, guys. I will be using it throughout the problem so that we you know we follow some sort of template. So this is our new signature. So I will be trying to find out what is the diameter of a binary tree, right? So here's the idea, guys. So let me uh, wait. Let me take you. Sorry. Okay, I think I have. I don't have that. Okay, so so if you look right here, right? So maximum would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But you also have to take care that you're not sending the wrong answer, because not all the answers has to go through the root, because there could be a condition where it is not going through the root, right? So that's how I would do it, right? So now to solve this problem, I would be requiring to find a height, right? So I'll at each node I would be finding what is the height at the left, what is the height at the right, right? At each node, not only at the root. At each node, I would be finding out what is the no this thing at left and at right, and at each node I will be comparing with my global answer. So that's how we are going to do this. So let me just code it up for you. Height, which we previously did. So if not to root, return, else return one one plus maximum of self dot height on root dot right, comma self dot height on root dot left. So this would be that's a quick uh, function. This will no give tell us what the height is, and here's how we are going to solve the diameter of course problem. So it's going to be a recursive problem, and as I said, there's going to be a basic addition. So if not root, so if root is not empty, we're going to return 0. It does not contribute to anything, right? It doesn't have any diameter or such. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find out what's the diameter of left is. Sorry. Uh, let's find out what is the height of left is. So LH and RH are favorite variables. This is going to be self dot height on root dot left and self dot height of root and right. RIGHT, right. So we have left and right. So what I have to do, I will be doing is again I will also calculate a diameter on left and right, because we have left diameter and right diameter, and This would what this would do is this will call diameter on left tree, and this would call diameter on right tree. Self dot, yeah, wait. So this will be doing on left right. So root dot dot left. Me copy this. Right. So this would be the diameter on left. On this would be diameter on right. Right. So that's how we get diameter. Now the question is, uh, so what would be the diameter of our current, right? So this would be so we are basically going to return uh, one plus maximum of. So at my node, what would be diameter of my node? So my node would be I will compare the maximum of what's my current answer is. So but my current answer would be LH plus RH, right? And I have to again compare it with what is the maximum of LD comma RD, right? So uh, that's how we have to do it. So height, so that's the diameter at my current root is going to be basically 1 plus what is the height of left, what is the height of right. So this would be diameter at that index, but I have to also know, not take this as answer, but also compare it with what is the diameter I'm getting from my leaf nodes, right? So left and right also have the diameters, right? So what is the diameter that we are getting from that, and compare it with my current diameter, that would be my overall diameter. Because if you only take maximum of LH plus RH, right? So we would be only looking at the root indexes, right? So we also have to look into indexes. So that's how we get this. So we are calling it on diameter of PT. So that's how we can solve this. So if I run, it says line one. Okay, sorry, I think I made a mistake here. I run it. Greater is not supported between line 15. Sorry, I have written 0. I'm returning none here. That's the reason why it has happened. So if I, again, you have to return 0 here. So yeah, that's how you can create a height of any tree. So in our case, the height would be 8. And if you ask me how, let me show you how it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So the longest path that I can create in this array is 8, because now you remember it is the maximum path between any two nodes. So in our case, we are lucky that it is passing through the root, but there are cases where it doesn't pass through the root. So if you submit solutions on LeetCode, no, you can see some of the cases where the root is not passing through there. So that's how we solve this problem, and I hope you like the explanation. No, go through it and understand it no perfectly, and we'll see you in the next problem. Right. Okay, so the next problem that we're trying to solve is called a mirror of a tree, and this is an easier problem compared to everything else that we did till now. So basically, you have a binary tree, and you have to invert it. So when I say invert, basically my left sub trees would be my right sub trees. My left children would be right children, right children would be left children. So that's how you see it in a mirror, right? So if you see in the mirror the reflection, whatever you're seeing, you have to return that, and you have to modify it, and you have to return a root to that. So that's how answer is expected. So think about it for a couple of minutes, then come back. I will code it up for you. Okay, let's. Okay, I'm trying to know see which solution that I can copy. Okay, I'll copy this, paste it here, and rename it to mirror of PT. Right. Okay. So I have this node and I want to mirror it, right? So that would become 1 3 2 5 4, no, 3 6 1. It's little confusing, but basically all I have to do is return a mirror image of that. So if you think about it, it's not a big problem actually. It's a simple problem and it can be done in a two-liner, right? So let me show you how. Let me remove everything here. We have a solution. Let me mirror, and this would take self, and this would take what, root. So once I have root, so this is what I will be doing. So if not root, I would return nothing, return none, because there is nothing to do. But this is only for a base condition. But in all other cases, what I would do is I will swap my left with right, right? So it's easier to do it in Python. And in C or C++, you have to do the workarounds here. But in Python, it's very simple. You can do it in one line. It is simply do this root dot left, comma, root dot right, and simply change them. So root dot left, root dot right, right, and root dot left. So at our current node, what we're doing is we are swapping those elements, right? So let's say if I'm at root 2 and it has children 3 and 4 as left and right, what I'm doing is I'm changing them. So I'm calling my left as 4, right as 3. Previously it was other way around. And once I do that, that's not enough, right? I have to do it for every node. So I'm going to again call mirror, right? So sorry, self dot sorry, self dot 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 mirror, and call it on the root dot left. Left also has to be mirrored, right also has to be mirrored. Now what this does, it again calls its child. The child will do their own. They also call its child, its child, its child until they reach this base condition. That's the beauty of recursion. And in the end, all we can do is simply return root. Okay, that's how you can solve this problem. Type shift what? Sorry, I did a typo here. Solution has no level. Okay, I have to change this. So what was that mirror? Okay. So the node is going to be this value. So okay, since we did it in our local, so we cannot visualize it entirely. But let me no solve it in ID leak code or something. Wait, I open it. Right. So invert tree. I know for sure that this works, but I just wanted to show you how it works, right? So you can see that's how it works. And if I submit this, it should get accepted, right? So it is accepted, right? That's how you solve this thing. And trust me, and recursion is the easiest way to do. But keep the fact that recursion is not the only way to solve this problem. There are many other ways. But recursion gives you exact control and ability to use it to a multiple use the same multiple ways. So that's why I use recursion, and you can use whatever you want, to be honest, right? So now let's solve. Let's move to the next question. So the next question that we're solving is in order, pre-order, and post-order. So these are these are not going to be three different problems, but going to be a simple tweaks of one another. So let me open it here. What exactly is a in order traversal? So if you have any idea with trees which are already solved, right? So you are aware that there are three ways to traverse binary tree, right? So we call it as in order, post order, and pre order. So what these are basically uh, DFS searches, right? So depth first searches. So uh, and we did level order traversal with the beginning, which is a breadth first searches, right? So when I say breadth first, you always going to move through all the levels. When I say depth of search, you go into deep and you use queues for the depth and stacks for the breadth. That's how you do it. And so what pre-order is does that it first prints the node, then the left, then the right. So it is the name says that. So whenever we have pre-order, first traverse the node, then left, then right. And if it says post order, left, right, and then node. It says in order, left, node, and right. So pre comes beginning and post comes in the end, in comes in the middle. So that's how you simply traverse it, right? So this is what, if you see the pre traversal, so it is going to get the node, then go to left, then get the node, then go to the left, then go to the right, left, left, right, right, right. So that's how pre traversal works, right? So I hope you understood it. So if not, go try to read some of the blogs and try to solve this problem. If not, come back. I'll be solving it here for you. Okay. Okay. Let's solve this problem here. So I'm going to call it as sorry, traversals. So I would be coding everything here, and let's take a lever or copy this, paste it. Okay. So the node is going to be same, and let's remove this. Right. So here we are. So as I said, so when you're traveling, right? So you travel. So let's solve for pre-order first. Then I would make small suggestions, and we can change it for everything. So when I say pre-order, right? So initially I have an answer here. It's going to be an answer array, and in the end I will going to return that answer, and I will going to call a traversal here, and is going to take root, right? So it's going to take root, and this is what I'm going to do. So if not root, I'm going to return none. But if that's not the case, we have an answer here. So let me define a function here. Let's call it as a traversal, and he's going to take a root. And if not root, if root is not there, then I can simply return none. In all other cases, what I would do is I can simply add, since it is a pre-order traversal. First, I would have to take no add the value in my node. So pre means no traverse of node first. So simply do answer dot append of roots value. Then what I would do is I will call traversal again on roots left, because left comes in the picture, and then root dot right. Right. So if you look right, so when I say pre-order, this is going to be node. Sorry, comment. Sorry, so node left, and right. So this is order. So when I say pre-order, so these travels has to be in this line. So node has to come first, left has to come second, and right has to come in the third. So that's how you traverse in a pre-order condition. And I think that's it. In the end, if I simply return answer, you can see that return answer. Let me print this out. Okay, I have to change the function pre-order traversal. Let's copy this a bunch of times. Also do it for post order. And let me copy this solution. Wait, let me just run it. Don't be overconfident here. Let me just run it and see if it works. If it works, then we can move to the next one. It returns none. What? If not root, return none. Why is it giving none? I think it should not, right? So, okay, I think we need to do some kind of debugging. So when I call pre-traversal, so I have my answer ready and I'm doing traversal. Not root, it is run. Why is that giving none? Not sure. So the answer is none. Uh, Oops, never mind. I think I haven't I haven't called the function. Sorry. Traversal dot need to call traversal on root. I forgot to call the function. That's the problem. Now if I call it on this, even then it is calling as none. Why? The dot append of root value. Okay, I don't think we need to return anything, right? So okay, okay. We aren't returning anything from the main array itself. Okay, we have to return answer here. Once if I return answer, then it should be yes. I forgot to return it. That happens actually. Sometimes it happens. So basically, when I return the answer, it is in the pre-order, right? So no, it first no travel the root, sorry, node, then left, then it's node, then it's left. That's how pre-order works, right? So I can extend this solution to couple of more functions. So I can paste there. So okay, I can call it post order, and I can call it in order. In order. Okay. So what happens in the post order is that first we would travel left, right, and then we would travel node. I mean traverse. And in order, first we would travel left, then node, then right. So that's how easy it is. So let me call it on all the nodes here. Post order, in order, right? If I run it, so that's how no the all the orders are, right? So these are the three different traversal techniques in binary tree. So these three we can collectively call it as a depth first search. We're searching in the depths, and level of traversal is a breadth first search, right? So these are the important traversals, and I suggest to you know, get this solution whenever you want, right? So there's nothing that you should remember or anything. Just try focus on the concept. Using that, you can solve all of these problems, right? So you just have to think, how we are doing it, right? So it's all about couple of base conditions and calling it custom function at the right time. So that's how we solve traversal problems. Let's move on to the next question. So next question is left view of a tree. This is a interesting problem, right? Oops, I think I have already solved it. Mm, let's not see it right now. Let's do it. freshly. So we have a binary tree, and what we're doing is we are looking it from the side, right? So you can see that in my video. So I have this binary tree I'm looking from side. So the only thing that I can see is that 1, 3, and 4. So I will be returning these three arrays, and I won't be returning 2 and 5 because they are being blocked, right? These are all 2D elements, but no, you have to think it in the way. So right side view is like, print all the right elements, right? So this is an interesting problem, and there is a pretty good chance that this question being asked in interviews like Amazon, Microsoft, and I'm pretty sure this is under tag of Amazon. I don't have any subscription, but you can see that it has been asked in Microsoft Amazon for 78 times. So that's how these are some good problems, right? And okay, it's also in medium tag, and it has very good likes, so it's a good problem to solve. And I encourage you all guys, to try it once, and I will be solving it now. Okay, so let me copy the level traversal here. Copy. So this is going to be my right right view. Right. Okay. So I have my right view, and this is the right view. So I will remove everything and start from the fresh, just using the template. So I'm going to create a function called as right view, and let's create a function. So we have a function define right view, and it's going to take we have self and we have root that is being passed to us, and we have to return hey, why is this happening here? Yeah, we have to return this thing, and right. Okay, so we are expected to return right side view of a tree, right? So let's understand this, right? So the concept is pretty interesting the way that I solve this problem, and I hope you will like it. So thing is, when you're looking from the right, so you would see elements 1, 3, 7, and 9, right? So thing is, what the idea here is that so in the previous when we solved the level of traversal, so we inserted every element, right? So if it is not present previously, we have inserted it, and if it is already present, we simply appended it. But here's what we are going to do. So when we are doing a right side view, we travel from instead of traveling from left to right, in the we do basically level or travel, right? So you should have guessed it by now, right now, because right side view is a type of a uh, breadth first search, right? So we use level or traversal here, but the first element that we see in that level, that is what we are going to print. We are not going to print anything else, right? So I would do the traversal here, but instead of no traveling from so left to right, so in this direction, I would travel from this direction, right? So I will start from this view. So this is going to be wait. So this is going to be my eye, and I would be seeing this direction. So I would be moving from this is my point of view. So I would be traveling from left to right, right? So this is what I will do. I will perform our basic level of traversal that we did in the first problem. So this one, I would follow the same template. I would see it from the left, but what I would do is I would only insert the element into our answer array if I am seeing it for the first time. That is, if the level at which the current element is, there is no element already present in our answer array, right? That's the only element that would present, and I will forget all these rest elements, right? So do I not traverse them? I have to traverse them because there will be situations where, let's say, you have seven doesn't have any children here, but that doesn't mean that no, it doesn't have any right side view element. So it has 9, right? So I have to traverse all the elements, but I have to check which element I'm seeing it for the first time, and add it into the array. So that's how we solve the problem. That's the idea of solving it, right? So Let's do that. So for anything, I first do is create this basics. So I have my array, and in the end, I'm going to return this array. Right? Sorted. Now let's come to this. So I always write a separate functions because looks neat and we know what we're doing, right? So always write separate function, and I'm going to call it as simply traversal. You call it anything of your own, and it is going to take root, and it's also going to take level because we're using level of traversal. And the base condition would be if not root, return nothing. You simply do none. But for finding heights, depths, you have to return zero, right? So that one mistake that we did there. So we have to return zero. That's it. So is what things get uh, tricky, right? So there's only little change that happening. So I will check for the length of the answer array, and if it is less than the current level that I'm in, that means that I haven't seen any element in that level, right? You get my point? So this is the first time that I'm seeing an element that belongs to that particular level, right? So this call, whoever has called this function, whoever what is root, is seeing this for the first time. There is no element present at that level, right? So that's what we want. So these are going to be contributing to the element. So if I haven't seen it first time, so in our case root. So when I call it on the root, I haven't seen root any other time. So I what I do is I simply add it into my answer array. So answer dot wait let's go back to that problem. So should I return it in a single array or what? Binary to right side view. Okay, okay. I should return it in a simpler array. Okay, let's do this. Okay, okay, we can do it. So if I have this image, I will do is answer dot append of new level, and I'm going to call it as root dot value, and in else case I'm not going to do anything, right? So else is going to be as it is, and yeah. So what I have to do is I simply have to call traversal on since we're doing right side view, I have to call it on right first and then on the left, right? So root dot level, what level? Root dot left, sorry, root dot right, and it's going to be at level +1 because it is going to be child. Then I have to again travel on the right as well, sorry, on the left as well, because it's not guaranteed that right is going to give us a children, and that is going to contribute to our view, right? So we have to travel all the directions, but we have to travel right first, then left, and I think that's it. That's how we solve this problem. Let me just call the function here. Uh, Travel on route, and let's call it as level 1, right? So let me try and run this, and it says 1, 3, and 7 and 9. That's right. So 1, 3, 7, and 9. Right. So these are the elements, right? And so if we want, I can simply say new answer. Answer is equal to this. You can simply take elements from here, but I can say that a dot append of root dot value, and in the end I can simply return a. A would be no the flattened one. So 1379. So this is going to be my right side view of my tree, right? So the answer solution looks very simple, but trust me, it's not an easy answer, right? So if you're seeing this for the first time, and I'm sure it might not be that easy for you, and even in the pressure of an interview, right? Trust me, this is not going to be easy, and it's not going to end up well if you haven't solved this problem yet. So I suggest you to highly look at this problem. This is a very important problem. All the views, right side view, left side view, top view, bottom view, right? I would be I've explained right view and left view. I want you to implement the top and bottom view. So they're very simpler than this. I won't want to do redundantly, right? So I will explain it one more time, right? So what we did is we had an answer array, and the idea of having this answer array is to track the levels at which we are in, right? So each recursion call that we are doing it, we are maintaining the information of what level it belongs to, and this is highly important. We have to understand it. So root I'm calling that one, so all the children will become level plus one plus one plus one, right? And at each since we are doing a right side view, I'm calling level of traversal in the right direction, right to left direction. So we're going to traverse every level and from right to left direction. And if I'm seeing a number for the first time in that level, I'm I'm adding it into my answer. If not, I'm going to neglect it because they are being shadowed by the rightmost element. So that's the idea of right hand view, right? So that's how you solve this problem. And if you want to extend this to something like a left side view, I'm sure no you have already guessed it. Pretty simple. Just change these two lines. Just change these two lines, right? So what this does is that it will change the level of traversal to traveling from right to left to left to right. Right now, if I call this function on left view, oops, I don't think I have changed the name. Okay, I'll call it as left view, right? So you would see the difference here. So once I run it, yeah. So my right side view would be 1248, as you can see, and my left side view is 1379, right? So that's how you can solve right view, left view. I will leave you guys to take the learning from this and apply it to top and bottom. So it's a pretty easy compared to this. So this is a trickier problem, and I don't think top and bottom are asked that much. Look into any diagrams that make it easier for us to understand. Okay, so this is how zigzag works, I believe. So we are going to start from this point. We're going to go to 3 and 2, then we're going to come to 4, 5, 6, then we're going to do to 8, 7, right? So if I go back to here, so 3 and 1, 2, again, this going to be 7, 7, 9, 8, 8, 6, 9, 10, right? So that's how we solve this. I think I am stuck. Okay, so yeah, so this is again level of traversal, but we are starting at 7, and in the next level we're reversing it, and in the next level we're reversing it. And okay, this is not that interesting problem, to be honest. I thought it was a diagonal traversal. Okay, that's the diagonal traversal. Okay, so that was an interesting problem. So I'll show you how you can solve this actually. So the easier way to solve this is take your lever order traversal, right? And let me just copy this question and put it here. Zigzag BD. So this is let me just run it once to see what it is. So this is our normal level of traversal here. So I have 1 followed by 2, 3, followed by 4, 5, 6, 7, and followed by 8, 9. So the answer that we are expecting is 1, but second array has to be reversed. Third array has to be same. Fourth array has to be, so everything is simple, right? So the one thing that you can do is basically if you make an observation, right, at each level we are changing signs, right? The signs are being changed, right? So the good way to track it is, since we are starting at level 1, so all the even so this is going to be 1 even, so all the even levels has to be reversed, right? So what I would do is if okay, sorry, for I in for I in for I in range of length of answer. So this is going to start from 0 to length of it, right? So for every odd number here, right? So odd indices, right? So when I say odd index, it's going to be even level. So if I'm looking for I percentile 2, right? So if it is an odd number, that means index 1, index 3, so which would be second level and third level. I have to reverse these elements, right? So All you can simply do is answer of I and simply reverse these elements. Answer of I of that's it. Simply reverse that, and if you print, then it should be reversed, right? So that's the only thing that you can do. I've seen some implementations where we keep a direction element, and after each traversal, we change the direction of that, and we change the way that we are appending into elements. But uh, calculating the complexities and all, so they all are on the same level. So we're not going to gain any runtime improvisations, right? So the easier way to do this is basically flip every odd row, right? So if you look previously, so it was 1, 2, 3, and now it got zigzagged, right? So 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. So that's how you can implement these zigzag travels, right? So moving on to the next problem we have is check if a tree is balanced or not. This is a good problem. It was asked. It was asked in many interviews. I have heard from the people that was asked, and not recently, but previously when I was in first year, second year, I've talked with some of my seniors who have given interviews or online, etc. It has been asked. So, what exactly is a balanced tree? So, in a binary tree, uh, it is a balanced or not. We can say that by looking at the difference between heights of left subtree and right subtree. So, if the difference between height of a left subtree and right subtree is greater than 1, then it is not a balance. It is an imbalanced tree. If it is less than 1, it is a balanced tree. So, if you look here, this is an imbalanced tree because the distance left height is 3 and right height is 0, so it's going to be 3, but here it is 1, so it's acceptable. So think about it for a couple of times, try to code it out. Let's know. If not, I will solve it up for you. New file. Let's take our template here. Is balanced. Let's write this function is balanced. I'm passing the root. Let's start everything from the scratch. Okay, so what do we need to check if, in order to find out if it is a balanced tree or not, right? So as a definition mentioned, right? So I have to find heights of my left subtree and right subtree, and what's the best way to do it? Simply copy it from the previous one, and in fact, if you go to diameter, I've already written the function, right? So that's spelling mistake, but it's okay, right? So let me just import my function here. Sorry. Yeah, so this is my height function. H E H E I G H T. So there's nothing fancy here. This is just returning me what's the height of a particular root that I send it to it. Right. So here's what I should do. So I should, in order to find if it is balanced or not, I have to recursively ask my left and right children that, hey, are you balanced or not? Are you balanced or not? So if they are balanced and I'm balanced, then everything is balanced. But if either of if any of my children is imbalanced, right? So then obviously the entire tree is not balanced, right? So that's how we you do it. So we ask each and every children nodes for the answers, and we and them all. So when I say and, I mean literally and operation on that, because at least if one of them is false, the entire thing is false, right? So that's how we're going to solve it. So basically, if not root, so yeah, I want you to guess what this base condition would be, right? So let's say if we have an empty root, right? So we have an empty binary tree. Is that a balanced or not? It is a balanced because it has height 0, right? So 0 is less than or equal to 1, obviously. So it is going to be it is going to be balanced, right? So if we are ever looking at a this thing and we know it is a balanced tree, why is the indentation messed up? If not root, return to, yeah, okay. Uh, if that's not the case, what I would do is I will find my left height, and so for my current route, I'm checking if my current route is balanced or not. So left height would be self dot height on root dot left. Right height would be self dot height dot root dot right. Right. So this is at my current node, the node that which I'm processing. I will check if it is balanced or not. So I have answer, right. So if like is val, let's say should I create a variable or not? Okay, let's let's say in order for this to be balanced, let's call it as is balanced or not. I will use it is balanced. So this is going to be basically LH. Sorry, if absolute difference of LH minus RH has to be less than or equal to 1, right? So if that's the case, is balance is going to be true. So now what I have to do is I will also get answers from my left, right? So uh, I will also check if is my L is my left tree balanced or not, and also check is my right balanced or not. And I want to make a recursive calls to these both as well. So it's going to be a self dot is balanced, and I'm going to call it is balanced. We it's going to be a variable, right? So is balanced, and I have to call it on root dot left. Sorry, I think I have to yeah, that's right. Left and self dot is balanced on root dot gst, right. So basically what I'm doing here is that I'm checking if my left tree is balanced or not. It is balanced or not. So previously I was just finding the heights to know whether a current node is balanced or not. This is for the my subtrees, right? So our in the end our answer is going to be return is balanced variable. So if my current is balanced or not, and is my left balanced or not, and sorry, and is my right balanced or not. So if everything is balanced, then I can say that my entire tree is balanced. If at least one is failing, then I mean entire thing is failing. So now where do I get the failing condition? Here, right? So if this returns me false, then it is the current node is false, and this will be propagated through the entire tree. And if I return, I get true because the current node that I'm in, the current tree that I'm here, right? So it is not a balanced tree, right? So in order to make it a balanced tree, I can do one thing. So I can add a couple of notes here, saying that right copy dot right dot right dot right dot right dot right dot right. So what happened is that I've added three more nodes here, 1, 2, 3. So now the height at this moment will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and followed by 3 is 3. So 5, 6, 7, and here it would be only 4. So it would be difference would be 3. So it has to return false, and that's true because it is not a balanced tree, right. I hope you understand this, and this is how you can solve to check if the tree that you are solving is a balanced tree or not, right? So if you have any doubts, look it up again, rewind it to this section, and I understand. So I will make a rewind here. So we are basically doing two things here. So these recursive calls basically try to find if any of my children are balanced or not. If anything is imbalanced, we would find out, and in the AND condition, it will take care of it. So you know AND, right? So true and false would always give false, right? If at least one is false, everything would be false. That's the AND condition. And basically, this ease balance is checking for the current node, right? So that's how you solve ease balance, right? So I hope this was clear, and let's move on to the next question. And the next and the last question for this video is diagonal traversal. This is an interesting question, and I highly encourage you guys to solve this problem. So this is an interesting, very interesting problem. So this is how diagonal is working. So 8, 10, 14 is going to be one diagonal, and 3, 6, 7, 13 is going to be second diagonal. 1, 4 is going to be diagonal. So basically, diagonal is at each level, whatever the rightmost element that you are having, that is going to be one diagonal, and the separation that we do. So at each level, guys. So basically, when I say this, at each level, the rightmost elements are are in a level, and in the next level we are taking left level from the first, right? So that's how diagonal works, and it's an interesting problem, and it's not the easiest solution to work. But I'll give a simple hint here. So at 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 level one, we are looking for the right elements, right? In all the remaining levels, we are looking for the left elements from the previous level, right? So that's how you can solve this problem, and I'll give you a couple of I suggest you, pause the video and take a couple of minutes to understand how to solve this, and we'll see you, and I'll solve it for you. Yep. Okay, let's solve this problem. I'm going to make a copy of this because it's the similar kind of solution. Paste it here. Rename it to diagonal traversal. Right. Okay. Okay. So one thing, guys. So we already have a level of traversal. So to be honest, we can only make one change here to get diagonal element. So would you believe that? Right? Yes. There's only one change that I can do to this problem, and I would get uh, the entire solution here, right? So should I tell it how? So I'll do it, and then I would no, I would again solve it from the scratch, right? So if you have no made observation previously, right? So if I am looking for the diagonal here, so 137 would be in the diagonal one, right? And 2, 5, 6, and 7, these are going to be in diagonal 2, right? And 4 would go in diagonal 3, 8 is going to be in diagonal 4, right? So the observation is that so when we are doing a traversal, all the elements in the right are being processed in the current level itself, right? So one, all the elements to its right are being traversed in the current level itself. That's observation, right? So if you even look in the two, right? So 2 and 5 are going to be in the current level, and for the 6 as well, we are going to know all the right elements to its current are in the current level. So what I mean to say is, the main idea to solve this problem is the simple observation that when traversing when traversing the nodes, remember that for in a diagonal traversal, all the elements to the right, is the rightmost leaf nodes come in the same level, right? This is one observation. Second observation is that all the elements that are to the left from the previous level come into the current level itself. So the one change that I need to do is that when we are so this is going to be same. We are going to do a level traversal, but all the left elements that I'm going to do are going to be in the level plus one only, but all the right elements that I'm going to do, they will be traversed in the same level itself. That's the one change, guys, we need to do. That's the one change. And if I run this, then you should get the answer clearly, right? So 137, 2, 5, 6, 9, and 4 and 8, right? So that's mind blowing actually, right? So all we did is like we just removed plus one from the level of the traversal, and we got the diagonal traversal, right? So that's the beauty of recursion, and I love recursion for this simple reason, right? So in order to solve for diagonal traversal, all we need to do is simple observation, right? So at each level, all the elements to the right, right? So when I'm doing a traversal, all the elements to the right of my current node. So if my node is at root one, right, and all the elements that are right children for my root are also going to be in the level one, right? That's a simple observation. And the left elements that I'm going to do will be processed in the level two, right? So as I said, so I'm at three, right? So in my three observation is that I can simply say that three has two children, 6 and 7, and three is at level one in the diagonal traversal. So 7 will also come into the level one, and 6 comes into level two, that is level plus one. That's a simple observation, and that's how you can solve this, right? So I really love this solution, and I highly encourage you guys to find it easy and understand it completely. And as we always do, we can also do a variation of it. So if I replace this with this, what would happen? Can you guess? Yes, you guessed it right. So previously, what we did 137 and 2, 5, 6, 9. So it would first look into these elements. It will look from the left to right. So instead of traversing from right to left, it is going to traverse from left to right. So, but not exactly. It's you know, ideally you would expect 9652, but that's not the case. We traverse this node and then this node. So that's how you. Sorry, let me change this diagonal traversal. Copy. As is. So if I run it, yeah, 137, 2, 5, 6, 9, 4, and 8. So this is how you can solve diagonal traversal. And that's the end of this video, right, guys? So these are some problems that I wanted to discuss here, and yeah, these are some of the DP problems that I'm trying to solve previously. So I wish these videos were helpful, and I really I'm looking to make more crash courses like this, because we have something like a DP, we have something like a graph, we have something like arrays here. So we can pick up some of the solutions and make it in the crash course if you are interested. And I highly encourage you guys to solve this. And if you found this interesting, so please hit the subscribe button, and notifications. You can ignore the notifications if you don't want to watch a video. I never force you to watch the video. I suggest you to watch videos at your own speed, because the time is money, right? So I never encourage you to waste times on your my videos. So I post videos on, like, building some project. If it is interesting for you, if you think it is what watch time, then only watch it. If not, you can ignore it. But subscribe to the channel so that you know when I upload a video. So that's it for this video, guys. And I am looking forward to making more content like this. If you liked it, please share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and also put it in the comments if you liked it anything or not. And if there are any suggestions, please keep it on. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.